Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new viewers. Welcome to my supporters out there. It's very few because a lot of people in the world don't like hearing the truth. But to everybody that's here, thank you. And make sure to spread the word and have more subscribers. Sorry, tongue twister. One of my viewers asked me if I have any evidence proving the stuff that I'm talking about on here. What I'm holding here is the 4-page information that I mailed to NASA down in Washington, D.C. Right before I got released on an unsecured bail for a weapon of mass destruction about future events, alien contact, etc. This doesn't have even nothing to do with the corruption that I went through for the past 12 years over homegrown domestic terrorist cell that's not Muslim at all. They don't claim to be Muslim. They mock Islam. They're actually like organized crime, white supremacist type people. But this is just some of the information I mailed to NASA. You see that? That's at the Bainey House out in Myerstown, Pennsylvania, back in actually 2018, 2019. There were several witnesses to this event. Of me, I came downstairs from my room, studio, apartment, whatever you want to call it, and I was talking to somebody. The guy asked me what ruined my life, what messed up my life, why I couldn't go forward in life. I started trying to tell him, but he wouldn't shut up and listen. And then he started trying to go against what I was saying. And then I told him, well, if you shut up and listen, I could tell you about something else that happened that didn't have nothing to do with the corruption, but the other experience I had. And I told him, I said, well, there was 4 other people there too. I said, well, if you shut up, I could tell you about how I made alien contact. And he starts laughing. They all started laughing at me. And I said, well, if you shut up, I could show you one right now, like in real life, like actually at that time. And they all started laughing. But what they didn't realize is there was actually one there. And what happened in the night sky that night was there was a pyramid in the sky. It was far up, but you could see it was about this big in the sky. It was just like that. And then what it did was it zoomed over to the side and then it shot down and then went across basically diagonal from where we were at to where it made that type of appearance above the moon. And that's about my first contact in 2014. That's the eyeball looking like thing that actually it's like a drone camera that's literally the size of a school bus and a half long. That's exactly how it's shaped. And what it does is it scans. It like takes pictures, videos, body heat, stuff like that. It scans to look for certain things that it's looking for. That night, unfortunately, it was looking for me and it found me. Now that's just one side. This is another side of that paper. That's just one paper that I mailed to NASA. The space program down in Washington, D.C. Now here you got this one. This is another one. This right here explains how I told somebody in a coded message while people were carrying out attempts on my life and terrorizing me where I used to live, about who I told in a coded message on how I made alien contact and other stuff that was going on in my life. And a lot of these events didn't happen yet until basically after I mailed this out to NASA, including natural disasters and stuff like that. You got this right here. More events. anywhere from people dying of natural causes like diabetes, exactly what the doctors were going to do to them, about somebody's stepfather in 2018 passing away inside of a bathroom while urinating. All this stuff I codedly told somebody in a coded message from 2014 to 2016. Now, the rash rise in the water spouts and tornadoes in the Black Sea in Russia in 2019. Mind you, I stopped texting this person in a coded message. I stopped completely contacting them in 2016. All this is electronically backed through my phone records and through the cyber people that go on the online. It tells you how I codedly told the person the stuff, everything. Like this right here is how I decoded it for them. Now this one's the shivering me timber part. UFO appearances in California and Russia massively rise in 2015 and 16. I told somebody about that in 2014 through texting them on my phone. The mysterious green lights after the earthquake in Mexico back in 2019. The green lights that showed in the sky after that earthquake happened. I told somebody about that in 2014 through 16, all on my cell phone. It was all through me telling this person stuff I was going through, etc. Major snowstorms in hot areas, 2019, California, Hawaii, Nevada, Arizona, and Saudi Arabia in the desert. I sent this letter out all before that stuff happened. Night at the Baney House in 2019 with Mike, Katie, Will, and there was the other skinny lady that drove a black SUV. About how a UFO mothership was going to fall out the sky and block out the moon to my back right. All this is coded. This specific event is actually on security footage at the Baney House because like the FBI, Homeland Security, NASA, the military was actually investigating it. But then they asked me, how do you know about a military investigation? And I said, well, if you would listen, I could tell you more. But unfortunately, they don't want to listen. Instead, what you do is you send 4 pages of information out, and they think that's all you know. Now, one of my videos, if you guys like it or want to comment, I'll actually read what I said and how I decoded it. Well, how I coded it, and then I'll decode it for you. And basically, I'll give you what I wrote to NASA through here. Now, to one of my followers and also a Facebook buddy of mine, all right here is my paperwork. All of it. From when I got locked up. Give me 1 minute. It's a lot of paperwork. You see this right here? That's my bail information. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus David Oxenrider. And now, to wit, this day of February 2020, upon consideration of the foregoing bail stipulation and the representations contained therein, defendant's bail is in the above captioned matter to be set at $75,000 unsecured. It was $100,000 and it went to $75,000. Unsecured bail is where the government pays for your bail. As a condition of bail, defendant must schedule or obtain a mental health evaluation within 10 days upon release from the Lebanon County Correctional Facility, which I did. Got the paperwork on that too. And you know what they said? I talked to a psychiatrist, and you know what they said? You're not crazy. You're telling the truth about stuff. See, the thing is, when people don't listen to you and they don't investigate the stuff you're saying, to throw a mental health illness out there, it doesn't matter if that person's telling the truth or not because you don't do the proper investigations on it. But that psychiatrist told me maybe I just need somebody to talk to. Like my wife, friends, family. I don't got that much family no more. But basically, she said there was nothing wrong with me. She actually enjoyed talking to me because the stuff I was telling her, as you research it, it's actually facts. Now, on to my criminal charges. The criminal charges, which you guys paid my bill, the government paid my bill, was manufacturing or possession of a weapon of mass destruction, risk and catastrophe, like a terrorist attack, and terroristic threats causing evacuation of a building, etc. I actually evacuated a whole town. Right there it is. Now, I'm not a terrorist. A terrorist is somebody that commits an attack with the threat of violence or the use of violence to forward a government idea or some type of way of life. Me, I was actually fighting for my life against a corruption ring. But the funniest thing is, after I did what I did, I'm still not considered a terrorist because I was fighting for my life. I wasn't fighting to further away a government or a political idea or a religious ideology type stuff. I've been dealing with domestic terrorism, corruption, and threats on my life for the past 12 years. Now, I harbor a lot of information about extraterrestrials and corruption. But the thing is, when you try multiple times to try to do it peacefully and you get terrorized, the only way for you to stop getting terrorized is to take a stand. Flat down. Now, I had 3 different defenses for my court case. The corruption information, which was worldwide before I even went to prison. The UFO information, which I mailed NASA, which that's what got me out of prison. Or 3, prove my innocence. Prove that the government forced me to do what I did that day. Because technically, they did force me to do what I did that day. Because the government is still to this day neglecting me my constitutional rights. Now, back to what one of my subscribers told me, is there any way you could prove the stuff you're saying? Now, all I gotta do is go through all this damn paperwork and find, basically the stuff I told him that night. Now, the defendant, this is the affidavit when I got arrested. Now, they reworded stuff, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what I told them. The defendant related back in 2014 he had an encounter with a UFO ship and aliens. The defendant related that the aliens told him that humans needed to start being good people or else they were going to destroy the earth with a nuclear laser beam. I never said nothing about nuclear. The defendant related he has been trying to spread the advice the aliens gave him, but nobody listens to him. The defendant related he tells people about alien encounter. People say he's crazy. They don't say I'm crazy about the aliens. They said I was crazy about the corruption ring that I was going through and fighting for the past 12 years. I kept this a secret. Basically until one day in 2019. I've been having contact since 2014. Completely different. You see how the government rewords everything to make you look crazy? Now, basically, never said nothing about nuclear. I told people I was in prison with, like, James Martinez. They call him Bones. I told him I knew people over in Indonesia. I never knew people over in Indonesia. Now, if you look up the day I got arrested here about the laser beams, an Indonesian submarine a couple months ago got split into 3, right? 3. All 35 members of that submarine died. Correct? That happened 2 months ago. Now, basically, how did I tell James in a coded message and right here in this about the laser beam that cut that submarine in 3 pieces? You got to put pieces of the puzzle together. I'm not going to tell you directly out. If I tell you directly out, it's going to happen. That's what you guys don't understand. I have to give you pieces. I have to basically kind of like lead you to basically your own salvation. It's not like I'm Jesus. It's not like I'm God. It's basically that the weight of all people's stupidity is on my shoulders. But the thing is, the knowledge I hold could save you guys from dying. Because technically, has anything changed since the day I got arrested? No. Besides, I got a couple criminal charges on my record. Your government's cowarding out of a $140 million lawsuit for corruption and basically terrorizing me to commit crimes. Um, that's why COVID hit. That's why all these natural disasters hit. That's why basically when I was in prison, when I was getting angry, I was drawing the stuff I was thinking. Now, since I've been out of prison, I am always working or taking care of my wife. She got health conditions. So basically, I don't got time to draw because my drawings take me anywhere between 6 hours to 8 hours to draw. They're not quick drawings because I got to remember everything I was thinking at that moment when I was mad. But if you look at the date, it says 6/23/2019. Now, if people want to know how did I know that before it happened, everything was planned. Not by the government, not by secret societies. It was planned in 2014 by something higher than Earth. That's what you guys don't understand. That's what people really don't understand. Now, charges again. This is all my paperwork from prison. All of it. Every single bit of it. Every single bit. Hold on one second. I'm going to get my phone. Okay there, Billy. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Give me 1 second. Now this picture, if you guys ever been to my TikTok or if you guys watch some of my videos on here, I took this at the Opportunity House. Probably it was last November during that one snowstorm we had, right? Now, if you look up shortly after I got arrested, there was about 5 or 6 callers calling the police about weird orange objects they seen in the sky. Did it kind of look like that? Well, if you zoom in on it, of course, because it's hard to see it at that time because it shot across the sky, you see the shape of it? Now, you know what that looks like? I'm going to show you what that looks like. That's actually the same one that the military took off of Mount Rainier in 1943. This is where it was at, because it went from there and shot across to the other side. It was during the same snowstorm. Now, give me 1 second. Or like this one. UFO over the Trent Farm, Sheridan, Oregon on May 11th, 1950. You see that? 1950. You see? The same type of disc shape, correct? Mine was actually on the 3rd floor balcony of the Opportunity House. It's actually where I'm employed, where I work, where I try to help people, whether it's better their life or tell them knowledge, correct? You see that? Military photo. Trying to find the one from Mount Rainier. I just can't find it. I got so much stuff on my phone, it's not even a joke. I'm sorry. Right here, bam. You see that? These 3 are my pictures. that I told the police, not only the police, but I also told people in prison a year before I took them. I took those pictures a year after I told people about it. That's a military photo from Mount Rainier in 1943. That's a zoomed in photo of what I took. You could clearly see the shape. The reason why it's orange because it comes out the sun. Now, if you look behind it, you see a little triangle, which is purple because it's cold. Now, on to other pictures that I recently took after telling people about it a year before it happened. That right there was on 2nd Street at the Opportunity House. If you come out where the shelter's at and you turn right and you look up, this picture was right next to the tree, but up in the sky. Like, I had to kind of like zoom in because the tree was cutting out where I was standing at the time. But that picture was in the sky. Now, on to where it shows the bluish green light. It was hard to capture this because the phone sucks. That's how it looked in the sky. It's like a bluish green light. Well, it is a bluish green light. If you look, well, let me see if I can turn the brightness up to this. Just so you don't think I'm bullshitting. If you look, the tree's right here, and then the UFO is right there. That's a shot of the sky altogether. Once again, I told people about that a year before it happened. I actually told my wife about it about a few hours before we even got to the Opportunity House. I even showed people at the Opportunity House that were there that. And then I said, you want to see something funny about that? You think it's a star. But I took my fiance, at the time she was my girlfriend, but I took her phone and I zoomed in. I said, now stars ain't big like this. I was like, now if you look at it, it's going to stay there for a little bit and you're going to come out in like 10, 15 minutes. It's not going to be there. We came out a half an hour later and it was there at the same spot. Then we came out about 15 minutes later and it was gone. It was completely gone. It wasn't moved a little bit. It was gone. Later on, you started seeing military police vehicles. You started seeing government searching in the water, like the lakes and stuff around here. It never landed. It was just gathering intelligence, kind of like how the military and the government does. But I'm gonna go to the whole story later. Not in this video because this one's getting a little bit too long. My next video, I'm gonna get into the story about the exact night on what happened that I made contact, including on this that within a 3-day period of when I made first contact, I had a murder attempt taken out of my life, and that's actually how I made contact, was through people that physically hurt me. I went to a mountain in Bethel Township, Pennsylvania, and this mountain's really high. And I spilled my guts out. I told the truth about everything. Good stuff I did, bad stuff I did, stuff I wanted to do in my life, and stuff that was stopping me from doing good. And the whole time I'm talking, the same picture thing that I showed you guys, my drawing that I sent to NASA down in Washington, D.C., this thing was watching me the whole time like a movie. And when that red thing came out of me, like it took a picture, that's when I knew in my mind about the end of your world. But the thing is, I can't plain flat out tell you what's gonna. Even though if I know it, I can't tell you it. I just gotta try to help you go the right way. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the choices you make with your heart. See, what nobody understands is the world was being judged as a whole. It gets judged as a whole first before you get judged as a person. And the thing is, it goes by your heart. If you got a good heart where you do good things, not to other people's eyes, moral wise, you follow certain steps in life, it makes you a decent, good person. Now the thing is with the world, you got this much good people and that much bad people. And the thing is, the bad people are all walks of life. They're all walks of life. The good people are usually the ones that get terrorized, usually the ones that get called crazy most of the time. That if they tell you the truth, you don't want to listen to them. They get ridiculed, criticized, like harassed, stuff like that. I'm going to get further into this subject as I go, but in my next video, I'm going to get into my first contact story, another story that happened in 2015 after my ribcage got broken. It was a few weeks after I made first contact when I was sleeping in the woods in my car up in Bethel Township, Pennsylvania. I'm going to get into reading this, what I sent to NASA, and basically, I'll even tell you who I sent it to and how I sent it, why I sent it that way, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Until then, you guys all have a good day.